Okay, kids, time to get working on our Chapter 11 test review. This one we're going to do a little bit different because there's not much room to work on the page, so I'm just going to use a separate sheet of paper here and try and keep up as best as we can to see these questions. So the first question asks to find the length and midpoint of the line segment at -5, 4 to -1, -6. Now, I'm going to do the length first. So the distance formula is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So I'm going to go and plug my numbers in here, make this x1, y1, x2, y2, and that will give me -1 minus -5 squared plus -6 minus 4 squared. Go ahead and simplify that. Gives me -1 plus 5 is 4 squared. That'd be 10 squared, -10 squared. Here's where the biggest mistakes come in, is people will square -10 and think it's -100. It is not. Whenever you square a negative number, it turns positive. So this becomes 16 plus 100, which gives us the square root of 116. Now, of course, I don't want this. I want this simplified. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the values would be. So here we would get this would be the same thing as the square root of 2 times 58. And then 58 is also divisible by 2, so we make it square root of 2 times 2 times 50. It's 29. 29. And then here, these two are a perfect square, so this becomes 2 square root of 29. 29 is prime, so you cannot simplify it any further. Okay, if we go on to the midpoint formula, that is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So, again, plug our numbers in. So we have -5 plus -1 divided by 2, and then we have 4 plus -6 divided by 2, and then simplify as best we can. -5 minus 1 gives me -6 over 2. 4 minus 6 gives me -2 over 2. And I can reduce both of those. Midpoint would be -3, -1. Okay. Number 2 we decided to skip, and we're going to go on to number 4. Number 4 says, if you have an endpoint, so I'm going to draw this. Okay, if you have an endpoint at -1, 2, and a midpoint of 2, 6, find the other endpoint. So this is going to be our number. Now there's an algebraic way to do this, which is that you know that x1 plus x2 over 2 equals this. I find that kind of complicated. So what I try to do instead is I just use a counting method. So if I know that this is halfway to here, okay, then I know that the other distance has to be the exact same distance. So if this were a number line, from -1 to +2 is a difference of +3. Okay, which means that to the other side, it's going to be another +3. So my x value is going to be 5. That makes the total distance of 6. Okay, and then from 2 to 6, that's +4 on the y side. So I need to add 4 again to this. 6 plus 4 is 10. The algebraic way would be to say that you know, for example, that -1 plus x over 2 equals 2. And you also know that 2 plus y over 2 equals 6, and then solve each of these equations. You'll get the same answer. If you want to do it, it's fine. So -1 plus x, when I multiply both sides by 2, would give me 4. Add 1 to both sides, and x equals 5. Over here, again, multiply both sides by 2. I get 2 plus y equals 12. Subtract 2 from both sides, and I get y equals 10. That's another way of doing that same problem. Okay, Let's go to number 6. Number 6 says, what type of triangle is formed by joining the vertices at 0, 2, 3, 0, and 0, 0? This one, probably best to use the, tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and grab some graph paper for this one. So if I have a triangle, let's be number 6.
Good afternoon, Ram fans. A couple of quick announcements as we enter this
Sorry about that.
afternoon